really hard. Being a single parent and sitting in the house day in and day out. Knowing I could be somebody, do something, I just couldn't find the mindset to figure that out.
When someone sits you down, looks you in the eye and tells you your own mum doesn't want you anymore, it breaks you. I was emotionally hurt by the way that my mum had just decided to ditch me just like that, and I had no one there to help me get through it.
My parents were very much involved in my life from the very beginning. They gave me quite a bit of freedom when I was young. Generally, yeah, a great family life. I don't know, maybe it was the freedom that started it and gave in to the path of least resistance, which was to mix with the wrong crowd, you know, because I wanted to fit in. For sure, and going down the wrong avenues sent me into a life of crime, doing things I knew were wrong. For the most part, I can't even tell you why I did the things that I did.
My daughter was 12 at the time, but what kind of life was I giving her? My mind would just torment me and drive me to depression. But when I thought it couldn't get any worse, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. My mind spiralled out of control. I felt I had failed as a woman.
I just couldn't understand why my family didn't want me. I was devastated. I was mostly hiding myself away in my room, not really talking to anyone, and I was mostly planning on ways to commit suicide.
So they arrested me at home. My nan lived with us at the time. I pretended it was all fine, but she knew for sure what was going on. Standing in front of the judge and getting sentenced to prison, it was so pitiful, but at the same time, like a really powerful moment. Definitely does something to you. Certainly the first 6 months that I spent in prison was the toughest time of my life, for sure.
I tried to hide my illness from my daughter at first. I couldn't bring myself to tell her. Eventually, it was inevitable. I broke it to her. The thought she would lose me sent her into a world of depression.
Things started to look up though, as I was in a new foster home. They made me feel like I was part of something that I hadn't been part of for most of my life. They made me feel like I was included. I started finding out that my foster dad had started reading my diary, so I started hiding my emotions away again, and it ended up getting so bad that I tried to jump in front of a car.
For me, it wasn't about looking over my shoulder or who might steal my stuff. It was very much a mental battle. Living in your own head with no freedom. You soon find out who you really are.
6 grueling months into my treatment for cancer, I had a breakthrough. I'd been given the all clear by the doctors. I was going to live. That day, it was like I had an epiphany. It was time to make something of myself and prove to my daughter there is a better life.
I started talking to a staff member at the school who helped me through it a lot, and started to feel that something better was in store for me.
I was definitely in a very dark place, and those moments were really what shaped my final decision to just leave it all behind me. I feel blessed that I managed to live to tell the tale, and I knew I had to change, but it was very much just thinking about how anyone would look at me the same. So I'd heard of Springboard before, but dismissed them. This time was very different. I applied and got into the Kickstart program, and it made me apply myself in ways I never had before, and that was really encouraging for me.
There was an advert on Facebook. It was called Learning for Life by Springboard. The course itself has changed my life, like, completely. Like, not just for work-wise qualifications, but for confidence.
Life feels brighter. Springboard has given me a chance to be happy again. And now, 6 months on, I'm an apprentice at the Hilton Hotel. I can honestly say I haven't felt so much love and happiness.
Springboard truly saved my life. That course taught me to be a superhero. I finally had a network around me that was teaching me things I thought I could never be. And now, 12 months later, I'm working at Wee Jimmy's as a bartender/waitress. I'm finally showing my daughter a better life.
Springboard hold a huge place in my heart. They've set me on a path I couldn't have dreamt of. In just 18 months, I've become an assistant night manager. Like, that's mind-blowing, and I've started to dream again.
I'd like to say thank you for Springboard, for not giving up on me and giving me the opportunity to actually put things in perspective and give me a new reason to keep going in life.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you to Springboard for offering the courses that they do. I don't know if they know how much they actually change people's lives.